Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic on a beautiful day here in the UK. I'm able to say this at last, although I think I did say it about a month ago and I proclaimed that spring had finally sprung, and that was totally bogus. So by proclaiming that it's a nice day today and thinking maybe we found some nice weather, I'm probably the opposite of Punxsutawney Phil. And basically any statement I make about the weather will herald rain. So I apologise to all of my fellow Brits for that. Well, let's hope the weather has finally arrived. Anyway, what are we doing puzzle-wise today? We are having a look at a puzzle called Exclusions 8x8 by none other than KNT. KNT. There are probably 10 names in Sudoku setting that I view with deep fear, and KNT is certainly one of those names. We do get KNT's puzzles recommended to us a lot, but they normally come with caveats from those recommenders, saying things like, yes, this was an incredibly brilliant puzzle, but it did take me 18 hours to solve. And those sorts of puzzles are going to make very, very, very long videos, but the recommendations we had for this one suggest that it is perhaps videoable. Although I have just looked on Logic Masters Germany and I do see that it has 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so it's certainly not likely to be a walk in the park. But KNT is a genius. I think that is well known throughout the Sudoku community and the puzzle making community in general. So I'm going to try and see if I can get this done. I tell you what's amazing about this puzzle as well. The rule set is really short. It's not a rule set I've seen before, but it's just 2 paragraphs, and yet it's obviously a sort of chaos construction in the sense that we don't get any regions and have to build them ourselves. So it's a really, really clever thing that it even exists at all. Anyway, I'll read you those rules in a moment or two's time. What do I need to mention? Not much. Over on Patreon, lots of our patrons have been enjoying this puzzle, which you can play for free. It's Jane Street's Bug Bytes puzzle, and you can watch my video over on Patreon of me having a go at this. It's just a very elegant thing, and I commend it to you. And apart from that, we've still got still got plenty of time left to enter Glum Hippo's snake egg Sudoku hunt. Here we go. Here's some pictures of some snake egg Sudokus. Loads and loads of you have been having a go at that and enjoying it, so definitely check that out. And apart from that, anything else? Don't know. Birthdays. Let me move on to those. Amber, you have turned 24 today, and I know this because your partner Alex wrote to us and said with some jealousy that your Sudoku skills have been improving apace to the point where you regularly shout at me now. And I think you're getting chocolate cake today, and you're going to the west coast of Italy. Well, that sounds fantastic. So, Amber, I hope you have a great birthday. It sounds like you're going to. Many happy returns. Next, Didi, over there in Bulgaria from your husband, Vladdy. Well, I don't think it's your birthday. I think it's your wedding anniversary today. So congratulations on that. I know the two of you often get to travel on your wedding anniversary, and I don't think you are this year. So I hope my shout out makes up for that a tiny bit, and I hope you have a cake to celebrate. I mean, a wedding anniversary, it's a good excuse for a cake, isn't it? So Diddy, happy wedding anniversary today. And then Jack, it's your birthday. And I know this because your wife Kerry wrote to us. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Kerry. It could be something closer to Seri, but I think it's Kerry. And also your 6-month-old son Rowan as well, Jack, and your dog. I think it's a dog, Pixel, or wanted to wish you a happy birthday. So Jack, many happy returns. I hope you have a great day today, obviously with cake. And then finally, a more sad shout out. I'd like to shout out Ken, who last month lost his partner of 28 years, Dennis. Ken, thank you so much for taking the time to write to us, especially at such an awful time. We do appreciate it, and we are so sorry for your loss. goodness. Ken. Right, let us move on and have a look at Chaos Constructions Exclusions by KNT. And I will read you the rules. They are as follows. Place the digits from 1 to 8 exactly once in every row, column and region. The regions are orthogonally connected and must be located by the solver. Yeah, okay. I think what that's implying is that the regions are made up of orthogonally connected cells rather than the regions are orthogonally connected. This is an, yeah, I was going to say it must be an 8 by 8. Right, so what we've got to do is find 8 regions into which we're going to put the digits 1 to 8 once each. And when it says the regions are orthogonally connected, I think what that means is, let's put in a region there. So if this was the start of a region, we couldn't extend that region to its 8th cell being here. Well, it's got really cool dotted lines on it today, because this cell is not orthogonally connected to its friends here. This does nearly, well, actually it doesn't really touch. Actually, normally these do touch, but to my eyes at least, this green cell isn't even touching these. And if it is touching, it's only touching at a point. So to be orthogonally connected, it would have to be something like this. So it shares an edge. So we're going to have to build the regions. And there's only one more rule, which says a cell with an arrow or arrows indicates how many cells in the indicated directions combined indicates that do not belong to the same region as that cell. A cell with an arrow indicates how many cells in the indicated directions combined that do not belong to the same region as that cell. Good grief. Right, so what does that mean? That one looks complicated. I'm not going to think about that one. Let's have a look at this one. Maybe that's more manageable. Okay, so let's make that blue. So we look in the 2 directions of the arrows and we say, okay, how many of the green cells are in the blue region? So let's say that's the blue region. Although it's not big enough, 6. Let's make that one in it as well. And let's make that one in it. So now the blue region is the required size. It's 8 cells. And this is seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 cells that are not blue. So I think that cell is a 4. I think. Because you add up, it's in all the directions combined is how I read the rules. That is absolutely bizarre that this could possibly solve, isn't it? Anyway. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. I get to do battle with KNT. Let's get cracking. Oh, I said let's get cracking. And she turned herself on. That's just totally unfair. Now, if I understand those rules correctly, I mean, I'm almost certain that must be an 8. Because we're adding up. Well, let's just think about that for a moment. We're looking in 4 different directions. So we're looking at all of those cells. And how many cells in the indicated directions combined do not belong to the same region as this? Well, I mean, some of these can't possibly... Well, I suppose that one can't possibly belong to it. How many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15... Yes, okay, so there are 15 green cells. Now, what is... Well, yeah, okay, so this is an 8 I have deduced. What is the most number of green cells we could turn blue? And the answer is 7, isn't it? Because if I turn exactly 7, 1, 2, 3, if I turn exactly 7 of those green cells blue, then the blue region couldn't be any bigger than that, because it would then have 8 cells in it. But if I do that, I'm still left with I'm still left with exactly 8 green cells that are not in this one's region. So there's a sort of a balance that we've found there. So this is 8, and I have to turn exactly 7. Well, yeah, okay. I have to turn 7 of the green cells blue, and those 7 cells that become blue will complete the 8 cells of the blue region, and that means that I can't go off a wandering, can I? I can't include these cells in the 7 cells I'm extending this by, because every time I extend this region, I have to pick up a green cell. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to pick up as 7 green. If I took that one, for example, then I could only take another 6. I could only take 6 of the green cells, and that would mean this would be a 9. So this is really cool. So basically, I can't take anything that's not orthogonally connected. Definitely not. And okay, and then this one must be in, mustn't it? Because if that one's not in, none of these are in, and I'm not going to get to a count that's even remotely enough. So those 2 are definitely blue, at least. There's probably more, actually. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one's definitely blue. I've opened my window because it's a really nice day, and I thought that might attract Maverick. But it seems like there's a steamroller or something outside. So Maverick's come in a steamroller today. I'm sorry, it seems to be getting louder as well. Hopefully the noise won't be too dreadful. So we've got 4 of the 8 cells. So if I took the whole of this column, then I'd only take 1 of these. I mean, actually, what I should do is these are definitely blue, so I might as well just change them completely. 2, 3, 4. The corollary of these being, well, the corollary of everything we've said so far is that every other arrow in the grid is not blue. So I feel like something's going on with those 2. Actually, I don't think it's quite as bad as I thought. What I was thinking is, let's make that yellow for a moment. Now that square is counting how many of these 3 cells sorry, more noise, I'm outside, is counting how many of these 3 cells are not yellow. Well, that one's definitely not yellow, so that has to be a 1, 2, or a 3. Oh, maybe I should have done this first. I should have labelled all of the arrows. Well, maybe these. I mean, that can only be 1, 2, or 3. That can only be 1, 2, 3, or 4. That can only be 1, 2, or 3. These 2 okay, right. These 2 are different. These 2 can't be in the same region, can they? Because if they were in the same region, what the arrows pointing in both directions is saying is how many cells in row 6 are not in. Yeah, imagine these were both red, for example. Then all then these two are both saying how many non-red cells are there in row 6. They'd have the same number in them. So these are different. And we know that they're not blue. So we'll make these red and orange. But orange and red might be the same as yellow. So actually, maybe I'll just get rid of yellow, because I'm not sure. I know yellow is not. I know this cell is not blue, but I don't know whether it's red or whether it's orange. Although I suspect it's not red, because if it's red, yeah, you can't ring another region. Oh, no, maybe you could go over the top, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you can't. No, you can't do that. So what I was thinking is, there's some region here that's we're calling orange. Now that's got to grow and have 8 cells altogether. And then, if we're going to make that red and try and ring an 8-cell region of orange and connect it to here, that's not going to work. We're going to need far too many cells. Even if we make this as compact as we can. That's about the most compact thing we could. And you can see you're going to need millions of cells to ring that. Maybe not exactly a million, but nearly. So this one... Well, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How is that not a 3? That is a 3. This is a 3. I don't know what colour it is, but it's a 3. Because whatever colour it happens to be, I'd have to be able to colour one of these 2 squares, or put one of these 2 squares into this region. And that is not possible. Because whichever way well, it might have been possible to go down the bottom, but not now these are different. Because if I go down and pick up orange, say here, then there's a red region that's going to be massive somewhere over here, and I'd have to ring that to get to these squares. So this square is definitely a 3. That's not a 3. So this square well, that square's a 1 or a 2, but now haven't I made a problem for myself? Because now whatever colour this is, let's make that purple, whatever colour this is, there has to be a purple cell in one of those, or both. One, two, three, four. And there's no way you can go over the top. So you're going to have to go round the bottom, which means... Right, okay, so this square is orange, is what we're learning. That is definitely orange, and even so, I'm slightly perturbed by this, to be honest. Oh, no, right, now I can see, right. I was viewing the green as, this green as sort of not bypassable by the red, but that's not true, is it? Right, okay, I'm more comfortable now. Okay, let me talk you through what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's orange, because if it's not orange, what possible colour can it be? It's not blue, because blue is only going to extend into the green cells. It's not red, because then they would have to ring orange. We've said that's impossible. It's not some new colour, because to ring both orange and red with some new colour is ludicrous, and we can't reach over the top to this square within 8 cells. So its only possibility is to be orange. But it's still quite difficult, isn't it? That means one of these is orange. Well, let's imagine it's this one, just for the sake of exposition. If it's that one, we've now got to ring red, and we've already thought about this. You can't ring an 8-cell region that's going to grow out of this and make orange only 8 cells. So that's definitely not orange, which means this definitely must be orange, according to, because it's sort of Sherlock Holmesian logic. You know, once I've ruled out the impossible, however improbable whatever thing is left is, that must be true. So this must be orange, and it must come round the edge. And now I can actually see, well, I can see at least approximately how this is going to work, because now I can see that I can connect these oranges up. In fact, there's 2 ways to do it, bobbins. Okay, because it's either that or that. I don't know which of those it is, but both of those involve those two becoming orange, which means this square is now not green anymore, which means that's not green anymore, in the sense that the way that blue extends does not include these squares anymore, because that is necessarily orange to make this work. Now red has got totally cul-de-saced, because it could have this one, but it's got to come out up there, look. So red, to grow to a requisite size, this is beautiful. So red, to grow to a requisite size of 8 cells, can't just live in the white cells here. It's going to have to take a green cell, isn't it? And it's going to have to take at least one green cell from there. And the green cell it takes from one of those is going to reduce the number of green cells available to blue to exactly 4, which means these two are definitely blue. I don't think that one could be red either, but let's just think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's definitely got to be blue. So now we're at 7. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this has got to come out through there in order to be big enough, which means that is the final blue cell. Isn't this beautiful? So oh look, we just finished the red region just by growing it so that it's, and now how do we connect orange? We've got to do that. And we've got 3 regions built straight away like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. Okay, so what's this? The answer to that is I don't know. We'll make it grey. It's got to grow. Now we can fill in numbers, can we? That, it's the number that are not in the region, isn't it? I know I should know that, but it's a strange rule. This is just 7 then, I think. And that's 6. Because there is another orange in the row. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6. No, okay, don't know how to do that. That is Maverick taking off. Oh, I'm so thrilled that I've even started this. KNT has, you know, I am quite scared of KNT's puzzles. That's got to be a new region that's got to grow, look. What colour should we use for that? Let's make it light green. I'll tell you what's absolutely bizarre. I mean, I've almost used the clues already. And somehow this finishes. It doesn't. It's not just that we can plot the regions from here. The region plotting I could believe. But that the Sudoku will unravel. That feels a step, a very unlikely thing. Right, so let's work out what that digit is. So that digit is pointing in this direction. So that actually is 1 or 4. I was going to say it's 1, 2, 3 or 4, but I was neglecting Sudoku because we can only be counting that many cells as a maximum that this doesn't see, i.e. that are not part of this green region. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can't be 7. Okay, that is at least 3, I'm going to claim, because these 3 squares are definitely not in that one's region, because they are complete. So this is at least 3, but it could be more. But it can't be 6 or 7, and 7 was the maximum, so that's 3, 4 or 5. That one, I think this one's a bit annoying, isn't it? Because that could be 6. It doesn't seem to be affected by Sudoku. These probably have to be different, don't they? Because if they're the same, yeah, it's the same point that we got here. If those are the same colour, let's make them purple. If these are both purple, then whatever is not purple up there should be the count of both of those squares. So one of these is purple. So one of these is one colour, one of these is another colour, is what I'm going to claim. Now the reason I'm hesitating is one of these could be grey. Okay, all right. Oh, hang on, that can't be 3. I hadn't noticed that. This one can't be 2. Maybe I've just got to put some placeholder colours in here. What colours have I not used that I feel inclined to use? Green, purple maybe, or green and yellow. I'll go green and yellow, I think. Now, this one, yellow can't wrap round an 8-cell region that's got to grow out of green. That just must be true. That must be 4. None of these can be yellow. So this is 4. And this one is saying that it's not... Okay, this one is green, dark green, because it's saying that it's not possible for all those 3 to be a different colour, because that should be a 3, which it can't be. So at least one of these above it is dark green. And we can't have a dark green there with this, say, being purple, can we? Because again, once the purple grows, we can't ring the green around it. So at least this is green. Although, now we've got to be careful, because dark green might be the same as light green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's not the same as light green. Okay, so no, I'm wrong. Here's a nice point. This is not dark green. Because if that is dark green, what number is it? And I'm going to contend it would be a 4. Because this not being dark green, and this is yellow, means for this not to be a 4, dark green would have to make an appearance down there and ring the yellow region. It's the same logic we're doing many times, but it's really beautiful. So now this is a new colour, which is probably that colour. And then we can't put dark green in the corner. So these two are some new colour, probably that colour, maybe that colour, don't know. And therefore that is a 2. And this is a 6, because all of those cannot be in the same colour as that one. Right. Okay. Well, that's not light green. I'm telling you that now. This is beautiful. If this is light green, I'm going to say you can't put 6 into the top row, but I think that must be right. Although that might not be right, actually. No, it is right. It is right. If that's a 6, yeah, it's the same point. I just struggled to see it because I thought maybe I could squeeze a region in there somehow, which is total and utter bobbins. You can't do it. But if this is 6, the corollary of that is we can't slip a region in here, for example, and get it to be of size 8 and then ring this green around it and connect it up here. That doesn't work. So my first instinct was right, which is if you make this light green, all of those are light green. And if you do that, 6 in the top row is impossible to place because there's a 6 there and there's a 6 there. So you can't do that. So this digit is not, well, okay, it's not dark green, it's not light green, it's probably grey, although it might be a new colour. How many colours have we got? 1, 2, 3. Wow, this is tricky actually, isn't it? How many colours have we got? See, these two could be in the same region, probably. Oh, hang on. How's that a 1? If that's a... I mean, if that's a 1, all of those have to be light green. That feels unlikely to me. That would be light green because it's hived off. So we need something mod 8 to be left in the top corner, don't we? But that's a new colour because that's not dark. No, this doesn't work. Sorry, I should have spotted this straight away. Right, that is not a 1. Because for it to be a 1, you have to be in this sort of realm. And you can see that you've created a virtual wall down the grid of light greenlinesses. Because if this is a 1, there's only one cell that's not light green, which must be the yellow one. And that means this region, which we know is different from this region, must exist within these white squares, which means there must be at least 16 of those squares, and there are not. That's the triangular number for 10. It's what? The triangular number for 4 is 10. And there's no possibility, is there, that this is... No, we've looked at that being light green. No, that's just, right, I'm happy with that. That's wrong. So that's 4. Now that means the opposite, basically, which just means all of those squares are not light green. So let's just make those black for a moment. So how does... Yeah, okay, so how does... Right, this is good, because now light green can't be the same as grey. Because for light green and grey to be the same, they'd have to come through... Well, they'd have to come through something, and there's a wall there now. So green has to go across the top to here, at least, because it needs to have 8 cells by the time it's finished. Right, in terms of total colour count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now, and possibly... Well, the problem is I don't know whether these overlap with some of these other colours. This black wall only applies for the purposes of green. We've also got to have a region that comes out the bottom, don't we? Those 5 squares have got to be in the same colour. Let's make that purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. And this region, whatever it looks like, can't join grey because it would be too big. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 8 regions is how many I need. I've got 6 of my 8 regions definitely identified. This one is not light green and it's not dark green. This one... Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm now struggling to see what on earth I'm meant to do. I know these 3 are not light green. I know this one. The problem is yellow could join to grey, I think. Dark green could probably join to grey. That looks the most likely thing to me, because I could probably get 16 cells, although that's quite tricky. Okay, alright, I do know that there are 3 different colours in column 9, because this 6 is not the same as dark green, is not the same as yellow. So that's 3 different colours, and I think I just counted 6 regions over here on the left hand side of the grid. So these 3 colours can't be mutually independent of what's going on the left-hand side of the grid. At least one of these colours does join up to the left-hand side. Which is probably important. So whatever colour this is, what colour have I not used? I've not used... black. I'll have to use black. That's the only colour I've not used, really. So this, which we know is not this and not this, this could well join to the 3. If it doesn't join to the 3, well, it's got to get out. That must be true. So I now want to say that that digit is black. Because it must be. That's got to get out. But, okay, but now if I go back to my wall of... Yeah, okay. I see. Oh, that's very clever. That's very clever, and it's actually a lot easier than I was envisaging it was. Okay, so what I have to do here is it's not that difficult. I just have to put it together in my brain. Right. So the crucial thing here is simply this 4 creates a wall for the purposes of light green. And this we worked out couldn't be light green, because if it was light green you couldn't put a 6 in the top row. So this is some new colour, and that turns that into this colour. Well, now how many cells are available at all for the light green region? And I think it's 8. I could take these. That's all I can take. So that is a new region that we've built. And now I've got to be really careful. This has to get out. So it comes up here. This has to get out. So it goes there. This still has to get out. So it goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this... Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I was trying... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hang on. Now I feel like I've got too many colours in the grid. Oh, bobbins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, why don't I ignore this one? Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all definitely different. And these 3 are all definitely different from each other. And they do not overlap with any of those colours that I've just... Well, I'm saying that, but I don't think purple can get there, can it? That's got to be right. So okay, so let's get rid of this. And now we can say these are the 8 colours in the puzzle. They are. So everything has to join. Every white cell now has to join to one of the colours I've already got in the puzzle. And that means that can't be dark green. Because if that's dark green, by the time this has grown and been big enough, dark green can't loop it. So these are all the same colour. Now this, can this be dark green is the question. And the answer to that might be yes, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it doesn't work. Okay, the only way this could be dark green is if we did that and we did that. And now to ring that, I think that region's too large. So that's wrong. And that means this, it can't be yellow. It just can't be yellow. Because then I've got 2 regions to pack into the gap. So this is the black region. Which I might change to be grey, just because it's a little less garish on the eyes. Right, and now what we've got to do is figure out how the bottom works, which is probably going to be done by this clue. And the way we're going to determine this... Well, actually, this clue now is different than it was before, isn't it? This can no longer be 3, because it already sees 4 that can't possibly be its friend. So I suspect this is going to be yellow, and that's going to make it into a 5. This one is not purple. That's true. So it is green or yellow. Purple can't reach it because purple already has 5 in it, and to get there it's going to need to be 9. So if this is yellow, it's definitely 5. But if this is green, if it's green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. I think this might be 5 whatever. For this to be 4, what we're saying is that these digits are all the same colour, which is yellow or green. So let's just work with that. If these were all green, you can see immediately yellow can't be big enough. So they're not all green. And if this is yellow, it can't be 4 because yellow already has a 4 in it. So this is always 5. That doesn't mean I know what it is, but it does mean it's always 5. Now, what that means is that of these 3 squares, exactly one of these 3 squares is not in the 5's region. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about what that might mean. Exactly one of the highlighted squares, these squares, is not in whatever this is, but this could still be yellow or green. Right, okay. What that means is it might mean that this is yellow. It's what I'm now. I don't think this can be purple. If that's purple, then we know that all 3 of these are the same colour, yellow or green. And I think whatever they are, if that's yellow, green is trapped in. And if it's green, yellow's trapped in. So whatever you do, you end up with a problem. That's really clever. So this square is not purple. And if this square's not purple, I'm assuming it can't be dark green. There's no way. There's no way we can dark green this and connect this up, leaving an 8-cell yellow region behind it. So that's yellow. Now, I am finally starting to appreciate that when you get 2 digits of the same, or 2 cells of the same colour in the perimeter of this puzzle, you can join them up. There is no way we can put a different colour in between these. So now, this square, if it's yellow, then exactly one of these is yellow. If it's green, if it's green, all of those are green. Because green, if it's green, green already sees the digit that collects the count up to 5. So if that's green, those are green. Let me just have a look at that for a second. Is that possible? That would be green. Yellow would come sprouting out round here. Don't see what's wrong with that, I have to say. If this is yellow, let's have a look at that instead. If this is yellow, then one of these is yellow, and one of them is either green or purple. Well, oh, hang on. Okay, I've got one thing. Right, we know this is yellow or green. What about that cell then? Yeah, that's always green. Because if this is green, both of those are green in order to make this correct. And if this is yellow, then this is walled in, effectively. That has to be green to get out. So that's always green. There we go. We've got a little bit of a deduction there. So I've got 5 cells of this one, 5 cells of this one, and 5 cells of this one. How balanced? And if... Okay, so if this is green, that's green. But then... It's not Sudoku, is it? Oh, please, I haven't even thought about Sudoku yet. Oh, well... The answer to that is I don't know. I'm not seeing anything easy. I mean, that's a terrifying thought, to be honest, because whatever this looks like down here, it's not going to help very much with Sudoku, is it? Oh, hang on a minute. What on earth are we going to do to finish this puzzle from here? Because I'm not going to get any more digits. I've got all the digits that the arrows are going to give me. Oh dear, this is... Hang on a minute. What on earth am I meant to do with this? Oh, well, okay, I've seen one thing. It's not even interesting, to be honest. Where are 2 and 6 in row 7? 2 and 6 can't repeat in orange, and 2 and 6 apparently can't go there. So 2 and 6 are in those squares. Okay, where is 6 in column 2? That is a legitimate question. Because that 6 knocks out the red ones, and it knocks out that one in its row. That one seems to knock out this one, and that one knocks out this one. That is a 6. Right, so maybe we can do something with Sudoku. 6 in yellow. Where's 6 in yellow? 6 in yellow is quite an interesting question. Could be here. Could probably be there. No, I mean, it's got lots of places. That's not a good question. Do we think we have to resolve this before we do Sudoku, or do we think we have to do Sudoku? I don't know the answer to that. The Sudoku, whatever this looks like, the Sudoku feels to me like it's going to be brutal. I mean, I can see silly things like those 2 squares are the same as those 2 squares. Because those 2 squares have to make an appearance in the light green region. Oh dear. I mean, I actually can't see how to start the Sudoku at all, which is a bit embarrassing. I must be missing something totally straightforward here. What digits have we got more than one of? We've got loads of sixes. That's grey, isn't it? I suddenly thought maybe that's not grey. And where was I going to... I thought I might be able to put a 6 there, but no, I've already got 6 in grey. No. 6 in blue is mildly restricted because it's in one of 2 places, I think. Golly gosh, I mean, this is... Are we going to have to go into sort of... mad law of leftovers stuff? Although I can't even see anything good in that regard. I'm trying to see things. I'm failing miserably. Oh, I'm so sorry. I realise I've stopped talking as well. How long have I had? 51 minutes. That's flown past. Let's try. Right. Here is one thing I think I've just spotted here. One, two. Yeah, okay. We can sort of do we can do a trick with the bottom 4 rows of the grid, I think. So if we look at the bottom 4 rows of the grid, we know that the bottom 4 rows of the grid have to have 4 sets of the digits 1 to 8 in them, don't we? Because there's going to be the digits 1 to 8 in this row, the digits 1 to 8 in this row, etc. Now, in the bottom row, we have 3 complete colours. We've got the whole of the orange set, we've got the whole of the purple set, I don't know what that looks like, and we've got the whole of the yellow set, and I don't know what those things look like. Which means the other digits in the bottom of the grid form one complete set of the digits 1 to 9. And the digit there that interests me is 2. Because the colours that sort of come into the bottom of the grid are red, blue, and this green colour here. And we know that the digits in the bottom of the grid that are therefore red, blue, and green form a set of the digits 1 to 8. Now, which colour has the 2 in it? And the 2 can't be in the green colour, because the 2 already has had the green colour already has a 2 in it, and it's not in the bottom of the grid. So any green cells down here can't contain a 2. There's a 2 here, so these 2 cells can't contain a 2. So the only other cell that could possibly contain a 2 in the bottom half of the grid is that. That is a 2. The corollary of that, which we might as well do, yeah, so actually let's think about these 4 cells in general. Those 4 cells are not available to the green cells at the bottom of the grid. So in terms of the extra region that we know exists in the bottom 4 rows of the grid, it's consisting of 5 green cells which are positioned somewhere over here, and these 4 cells. So the green cells down here can't include the digits that are over here, can they? In the red and the blue. So 7 must be in one of those squares. I mean, it doesn't do anything, but it's true to say 7 must be in one of those squares. If that was a 6, 6 would be in these squares, and 6 would be in one of those 2 squares. And this is all very well. But I don't think it does anything at all beyond what we've just done. Or it may do, but I can't see it. Oh, good grief. Right, okay. Okay, we're going to have to really put our thinking caps on, I think. Right, let's try other patterns like that one. I'm looking to try and divide the grid in sort of across rows and columns. I'm just not seeing anything that looks easy to use. No, don't like that one. Okay, right. Okay, I can do the same thing again. Sometimes it's called the law of leftovers. I think of it nowadays actually more in terms of set, which is perhaps just a peculiarity of mine. So what do I mean by set? Well, look at the first 2 columns of the grid. What do we know those 2 columns have to contain? They've got to contain 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, etc., all the way through to 2 8s. We must agree with that, mustn't we? Because there's going to be the digits 1 to 8 in this column and the digits 1 to 8 in this column. Now, if you look at the red area, obviously that is going to contain the digits 1 to 8 once. And that means that these squares are the other 1 to 8 group. Now you can see there that orange has a lot of, or the most overlap with that. So these cells of orange are already in the first 2 columns, and these cells of orange have to make an appearance in these squares in order to ensure that we've got 2 full groups of the digits 1 to 9 in the first 2 columns of the grid. And look, there is a 2 here that can't go in these 2 squares because there's already a 2 in blue. So that digit has to go in the corner. It looks like it's doing something with 2 over in the yellow region. Let me just see if we can do it. Well, no, I'm going to do something easier than that. Where is 2 in the red region? That's a fair question, because I've got that 2 and that 2 ruling out those squares, and this 2 in the corner, so that's a 2. Right, okay, now where does 2 go in the lime green region? Well, it's not there, and by that one it's not there, so it goes there. That means this isn't a 2. How many 2s have we got? We've got 6 2s in the grid. And I've got to get a 2 into yellow somewhere, because it's not in any of the squares I've got highlighted at the moment. Oh, I suppose it... can that be a yellow 2? Ooh, that doesn't feel right. Oh, okay, yes. So right, the 2 in row 7 is in one of those 2 squares. And that is the last 2 that lives in this portion of the grid. And therefore it must be the 2 that is yellow. Now, if it's not this one, and it's that one, if that is a yellow 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's the only way you can join this up to this yellow pentomino here is directly like that. In fact, it would make this green, otherwise yellow would have too many cells, and both of those are yellow. That's the only way you could join it up. And so that's trapping purple at the wrong size. So this is not yellow. Well, no. Well, it's not, but it's also not a yellow 2. So the yellow 2 must be here. So that is 2, that is yellow. But now, yeah, that's done it. Right, so now this square can't be green. Because if it's green, it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares that are not its colour. So that's beautiful. So that's got to be yellow. Now I've got 7 yellows. I've got to put 6 into yellow. Oh, could that be a 6 though? Oh, you bobbins worthy. Oh, KNT, what have you done? I think yellow's got 2 possibilities. One of those 2, whatever it is. Well, whatever it is, whichever one of these is the final yellow is a 6, because it's that digit that we can't place in these. So these squares are the other digits in the world of Sudoku, which are 1, 3, 7, and 8. That's not 7. And that's about as useful as a chocolate teapot, I'm afraid. Oh, bother. All right, let's go back to this. Because the other thing I noticed now, because we worked out, didn't we, that in the first 2 columns, we've got the red region, and then we've got these 4 and these 2 dominoes to give us our 8 cells. So we know that this region I've just highlighted is one set of the digits 1 to 9. And we know therefore these have to make an appearance in exactly those squares. And we've got those 2 married off with those 2, which means these 2 and these 2 are exactly the same digits, which I think I'm going to represent using the mechanism of a line, because I've run out of colours. I could use letters. No, I'm going to use line. That domino is the same as that domino. Right, okay, well I am going to pencil mark that, because this domino sees 8 and it sees 3 other digits. So these digits and these digits are 1, 3, 4, 5. Oh, nearly. Right, that's 1 or 5. It's not 3 or 4. I thought I was going to get a digit then. That digit is apparently not restricted. I don't know which of these is that one. I just know these are the same as these. Where do you put 2 in the grey region? Well, no, that square. I was going to say one of 2 positions. How many greys? Oh, sorry, I've got all the 2s. That's a nonsense what I've just done there. It's not even. It's just bookkeeping. Okay. Yeah. Where should we look now? I've not got the Scooby-Doo. Okay. Where is 8 in column 4? That is a legitimate question. 8 can't go there. 8's already appeared in blue, so it doesn't go there. 8 can't go there for some reason, so 8's at the bottom. So 8's not in these squares. Which means 8 is vertical, doesn't it? Because we know that there is an 8 in one of these squares in yellow. So 8... The thing is, we know so little about 8. Wow. Wow, this suddenly got absolutely brutal. Oh, well, what about those squares? At least we could pencil mark them. 1, 5, and 7. Right, here is a nice point. Here is a nice point. That digit has to appear in row 1 somewhere. Where does it go? It's got to go in the corner. And that corner digit is red, which has a 7 in it. So that is not... well, these two are the same, so we'd better give those a letter, better we? Let's give those a letter. So those are both A. 7 in the column is now fixed. 7 in... Oh, please, please. I was going to say 7 in column 3. If it was here, this would be a 1-3 pair. Botheration. Okay, I thought that was going to be good. It's not. These are the same as those. Wow, I mean, okay. This is tricky. I mean, this is tricky, isn't it? I don't know whether I'm meant to be able to do this with any sort of aplomb, but I feel completely lost, actually. 7 in column 1 has only got 2 places to go. Because it can't go there, obviously, and it can't repeat in red. So one of these is 7. Is there some other law of leftovers trick here that would be very useful to spot? Very possibly. But where? Oh, I'm so sorry. If you can see it, well done. I fear there may be a shouting going on. Oh, goodness. I don't know where to look. Could we do something with... What digit is under pressure in this puzzle? I mean, that's a reasonable question. Is there some problem digit that I am not appreciating? There could well be. I just don't know where to look to find it. It's making me feel very stupid, this, actually. What? I don't know. Oh, goodness, I've got nothing. Let's revisit some of our earlier conclusions. 7 can't go there. So 7 is in one of these. Is that good? Don't think so. I mean, could we go for a mammoth pencil marking exercise on all of those squares? Because I know these 2 squares do appear in those 3 squares. That feels a bit desperate, though, to be honest. I mean, I might have to do that because I haven't got anything else at the moment. I know 8 is in one of those. Does that do anything for me? Or is there some... one of these is quite restricted. It's a 1 or a 5. I know that's a 1. I know that's a 1 or a 5. Oh, okay, so these digits are... Oh, that's interesting. I'll do that. Okay, so I'll call this one B, because it is not A. Now, B has to make an appearance in this column somewhere. Now, I've no idea... Well, I know roughly where it goes, because it's got to, therefore, it can't appear in orange again. So it's going to appear in one of those squares. Now, that means that if we think about red as a unit now, red... Between these three squares, there's a 1-5 pair in red. And that means these digits are not, well, they are, let's look at what they are. They are 3, 4, and 8. That's the only options for these squares. And that is not 4. And that is not 3. Now, what, if anything, does that do? Wow. Wow. I'm going to use this digit then. That is, I mean, if this is what you're meant to do, this is incredible. Right. That is not 3. Because if you make that 3, I don't think you can put 3 in row 2. That might be wrong. I'm going to double check that. But if that's 3, you can't put 3 in red. You can't put 3 in its own column. And grey has already got a 3. So that is not 3. That's got to be 8. That's got to be 4, therefore. So these are not 4. These are the same as these digits. So that's quite interesting, potentially. Has that done? Has that done in that? Well, that is interesting in this column. Because that digit now is 1, 3, or 5, and I can see that's given me a 1, 3, 5 triple in orange, which means these squares are the other digits in orange. So they're 4, 7, and that is a 7, because that can't be 4 or 8. So that's 7. This is a 4, 8 pair. Which is very exciting for the following reason. Brain, think of reason. Brain, don't let me down, brain. Oh, you've let me down, brain. I don't know. 1, 3, and 5 up here. One of which is B, which is that digit. Oh, I've got a 1, 3, 5 triple in this row. I could use that on that, look. So this is 7 or 8. Here is a beautiful point. Right, let's go back to a few minutes ago where we were looking at this quadruple in the context of the bottom row. So we said in the bottom row there's this foursome and there's a quintuple of green that lives somewhere stemming off this one. And that means that green, to be completed, green's 5 digits in the bottom don't have these digits in them. So green's completion, these digits must be mapped up here, mustn't they? Now, one of those digits is now an 8. Now, where does 8 go in this foursome? It doesn't go there because there's an 8 pencil mark. So this is a 7, 8 pair. And that means... Well, that means... Oh, this is lovely. Right, that means this digit is not a 6. Because if that digit is 6, it's got to go there. And there's already a 6 looking at that square. So that is not 6. This is 6. That is not 3. That's giving me a 1, 5 pair. Right, so this is 3. And this is B. Which means that is not 3. I've got a 1, 5 pair in row 2. I could put 4 and 7 into these squares. So we should pencil mark the rest of the grey region. 1, 5, and 8 I want to say. And that's not 8. So I've got to, so this is A now, which is that one. So those 3 are all the same digit, which is potentially interesting. Okay, where's 4 in column 7? there is the answer. It's the only place it seems to be able to go. So that's 7. That's done nothing. That's so harsh. Okay. Where's 4? In my blue region now. There is the answer. It's the only place it's... So how many 4s have we got? Oh, we haven't got that many. We've got 5. We've got 3 more to place. One of which is down here. One of which has got to be in dark green. Neither of those cells can be 4, and 4 can't go in those squares. So dark green has to get down here somewhere to pick up a 4. This digit is 1, 3, or 5. Nearly interesting, but I don't think it's interesting enough. 7s. Let's double. Oh no, I haven't hardly got any 7s either. 7 in. I don't know. KNT, you do not make the easiest puzzles. They are brilliant, though. I mean, this is an incredible construction. It's incredible that you can do this with this sparsity of clues. I just wish I could see what the next point... Okay. We know that's 1, 3, or 5, so I know this... still, that's not done anything. I know that those digits are the same. I just don't know what they are. I know these digits are the same. I don't know that that's the same as that, do I? Oh, actually I do. I do know that, because that's A, so that must be B. That's interesting. So these 2 digits are the same, and these 2 digits are the same. Oh, but could they be A? Maybe they could be A. Oh, bother. Okay. Oh, goodness me. Where is... Okay, where is 8 in the top row? That's more complicated. It's not in the corner. It's not there. And... it's not in those 2, I don't think, because there's an 8 in this domino, and I think there's an 8 in grey in that domino. And that's the 2 8s that could possibly exist in these 2 columns, isn't it? We can't put another 8 up here, because that would be 3 8s in 2 columns of the grid, which will necessarily break the rules of Sudoku. So I'm going to claim that's an 8. Which probably does something, but I don't know what that thing is. It's going to be some law of leftovers trick or Sudoku trick that I'm just not seeing. And I may never see, which is the terrifying part of it. It's going to be... Well, let's try... No, I thought I'd seen something then. I haven't. 4s. Let's have a look at 4. I've already looked at 4s. Maybe I've got to look at the regions again. 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh! Okay, that square's interesting. That can't be 7 or 8. So there's a lot of Sudoku looking at that square. That's 4 or 6. Is that good? Don't think so. Okay, here's an interesting thought that I've not had before. that digit. What digit is that? No, that's not true. What colour is that? That's what I'm going to ask. I don't think that can be purple. Because if that's purple, I'm noticing I can't put a 6 in this column. If that's purple, the only way of closing purple is then with alacrity like this to get my 8 cells. And I've had a 6 in purple. So there's nowhere for a 6 in column 5. So that, I think, will have to be dark green. Because if it's yellow, there's no conceivable way that I can... No, I mean, yellow's only got one more cell to come, actually, and that's the 6 that lives in one of those squares. So that's definitely green. Right, so now I've got 6 cells of green. Ah, but I've still got to put a 4 in green, don't I? Where is green? Oh, no. Well, maybe that's the green 4. If that's a green 4... If that's purple, that's it. Wow. Okay. Okay, this is not... this is going to do it. This is not purple. Because if it's purple, it has to be a 4. And then this digit's impossible. I think we have a massive problem with this cell. Yeah. If this is purple, it's 4 because it can't be 6. Now, in the bottom row, where are we putting 4? And the answer is here. And that 4, we know it's not yellow, we know it's not purple, so this needs to belong to green. And it can't belong to green because green will be too big. Green will have at least 9. No, green will have 9 cells then, and that's definitely too many. So that means this is not purple, but we know it's not yellow because yellow we've said completes with one of those. So that is green, which I think it's going to have to be the 4, but I'm not certain about that. So let me just, yeah, we've now got 7 cells of green. So the only way green closes is with this cell. And that's probably done something. Well, purple now has to grow. So purple goes there, it can't bump into yellow, so purple's going to have to come up through this little gap. That can't be 6 now, because it would repeat in purple. Oh, so that, okay, that's just, oh goodness, so now, okay, this is the only place that 4 could go in green. I hope that's not a problem. That's going to be a 4, that's going to be an 8, that's going to be an 8. Right, so this is 1 or 3. Oh, tried to write 1 or 3 in there, failed. Okay, look at this now. Well, not only is that yellow, which is true, it is yellow. Oh, that's got to be the 6 in yellow, because we know yellow needed a 6 with its final position. But these squares have got to be from 1, 3 and 5 to complete green. I thought that was going to do something, but it doesn't. Come on. This is exciting now, because it's getting to the point where I am fairly confident I will be able to finish it, even if I have to spend a very long time. What should we do now? What about 4s? I must have got all the 4s in the puzzle. I have got most of the 4s, but I need to put a 4 in purple. And the only place it can go, I'm going to claim, is there. So that's a 4. I've got to... Oh no, that's not a good question. Oh, that's a 7 by Sudoku. I've got a 1, 3, 5 triple we can use. That gives me a 7 and an 8 here. We know that there had to be an 8 in grey. Right, look, that's become a B digit by dint of the fact that grey has already got an A digit in it. Right. So that threatened to be useful, but isn't. I've got a 1, 3, 5 triple in this column, so I've not put 6 into that column, so let's put 6 in. This square is not a 7, so there's a 1, 3 pair in yellow, so 7 goes in the corner. That's going to be 1, 3 or 5 in the top corner. Chance for a 3 in the corner. 3 in the corner alert. There's a 1, 3, 5 triple now. Oh, 7. Yeah, where does 7 go in the green region? It's got to go here. So this... Oh, so there's 135s everywhere. 135s. And our job is somehow going to be... to work out how to finish the puzzle now. Okay. How do we do that? How can this still resist now? Let's try. I don't know. Okay, I've got one thing. Where is B in this row? Row 5. B has appeared in blue, so that's not B. B has appeared there, so that's not B. So that is B, which means it's not 3. So I've got a 1-5 pair here now, which means that's 3. Which is actually going to do a little bit of Sudoku. Oh no, I didn't get... That's wrong. I didn't get a 3 in the corner. Okay, that's B now. Because it's not A, because A is over there, and A is also here. This is a 5. Oh, right, look. 1 is in the same column as B, so B is 5. Right, so wherever we see B, we can write 5. So A is 1, I suppose, is the corollary of that. A is 1, B is 5. This is a 3, so green needs a 1. That's a 3 by Sudoku, so that's a 1. That's a 3. That's a 5. And that's a 1, and we've done it. Wow, what a puzzle that is. Just let me just stare at it before I click the tick button. I can't see a mistake. Is that looks good. Oh, puzzle doesn't include solution. Ah! Okay. Well, it's probably right. Okay, what's the software checking then? It's checking... It's not... Oh, I don't even know if the software checks regions, because it won't understand regions. I think it's checked it's worked from a Sudoku perspective. So i.e. I've got the digits 1 to 8 once each and every row and column. Wow, okay, so I don't know how I will deal with that. I will have to spend some time after we turn off the camera having a look at this and thinking about whether or not it obeys all the conditions. If it obeys the conditions, i.e. if every region has the digits 1 to 8 in it and the arrows are correct, it must be correct. What a puzzle. That's quite brilliant. I mean, the setting, the genius there for me is... I mean, I actually really loved the beginning. I loved the way it lured you in almost. That looked like it had to be an 8, and then it was. And then you could use the other clues to sort of determine, especially this blue, red, orange thing, the way that had to work was gorgeous. And then you could extend it out. And then I got hopelessly stuck once I didn't know what colour this was. And I'm wondering whether I've missed something there. Because the complexity of the irregular Sudoku was brutal. I mean, that was very hard. I mean, where were we looking? There, and the correspondence is there. We looked the top half of this orange thing and these squares as well, and we had to work those quite hard. Yeah, and then I had to yeah. Then this was probably my proudest moment in the puzzle. There was something around here that stopped 3 being in that row. And that was quite hard to see as well. So it's overall it's magnificent. I mean, it's a magnificent creation, and I loved solving it. But I don't think it's the easiest puzzle I've ever seen in my life. And I look forward to the comments, which are going to tell me, no, if you'd heard our shouts, you'd have gone and done it much more quickly. Let me know. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. K and T, take a bow, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.